Yes, thank you, Scott. Those people are doing amazing things, and we've seen kind of different groups of people throughout time. Put in the work, bring new venues, bring new artists coming in. And speaking of that, we have UMAC here. So what a perfect segue. UMAC, good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
Hey, doing good, everybody. Always good to be on here. Thank you, thank you. Um, I just wanted to kind of give an overview of the Angzar event for Metaverse Fashion Week. Keep in mind, okay, so it starts, it's going to be all week. Starts March 28th. It's going to last through Friday. We have a huge closeout party. DJ Category 5 is going to be performing, and Mr. Dingia made this really cool stage for us. You can, I still don't know how to, I'm on my phone, so I still don't know how to put in links on the Twitter space, but you can check out, I think last room deployed all the creator tents. Because the reason we wanted to do this was to showcase any creators that were not able to get into the main event. And we had such a huge influx. Everybody was like, I want a tent, I want a tent. So we were so excited for that. And I think Mimsy said they were having some issues. So just bear with us. It's still in beta. Um, throughout the whole event. This is not indicative of the entire project we're working on. The team is doing. It's blowing my mind what they're creating. So this is just we wanted to get this out for the community members to showcase their wearables. Anyway, there's going to be a contest. So starting March, I think midnight March 28th to like 11:59 March 30th, whoever purchases the most wearables in Angzar, because you can go to that creator's wearable tent, view their store, and make a purchase right in there, which was our whole point, right? And we have a prize, this huge grab bag full of really cool wearables for that whoever purchases the most wearables in Angzar. And then Cat 5 will be announcing the winner that Friday during the Friday show. That's 6 p.m. Friday, 6 p.m. Uh, ETC, EST, UTC. Oh my god, I forgot. Hold on, my brain is. It's on the events page. I think it's 6 p.m. Eastern, but I'll have to double check. But other than that, we do have the quest team is creating a quest. I don't have details or specifics. You'll just have to go there and find out what that's all about. Once you complete the quest, there's going to be a really cool Angzar wearable that you can win. So that's really cool. And you have to grab the neat while you're there. Um, what else? What else? What else? For now, you can visit Angzar through the world link, but last room's going to be having the foundation deploy it to Genesis City, so it'll sync up with the events page link. And remember, it's in beta, so this isn't exactly what the end all be all. This is just showcasing the creator tent. And I think I think I covered everything. And if anybody have any questions or anything?
I definitely have a couple points to hit on. First of all, I will just say, like, having been to Angzar, it's already amazing. So don't, yeah, just we know it's in beta. We know you guys are shipping on everything that you said, and so if there's kinks or bugs, like, we get it, and it's going to be awesome. And I think you guys are putting this together for Fashion Week, and you don't have to. That wasn't part of the original Angzar, I believe, like roadmap. And so I think for you to take the time and do this, it's awesome and shows that you guys are supporting the community. So my question, and it's kind of, I see, Decentraland, thank you, you're in the speaker panel, I might put you on the spot. So I'm in World and I want to find the Fashion District Plaza. And I go to the plazas, and the only one that's labeled is the middle, Genesis Plaza. And I know it's been brought up before of like having these areas labeled and you can scroll over it, you know, and a little bit of description comes up. But I really like, I can tell which one is Neo Plaza because I can go to Genesis City map and I can see that the far left plaza is the one that has been changed out most recently. I can also see little red users on there that indicate there's a bunch of people over on this one. But that's because I've been here a while. Like if you're a new user and you just want to, you know, explore and you start clicking around the map, it is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get yourself back to that unless you know like okay then I hit the X on the keyboard and go back to you know the event. So I feel like having these plazas labeled would be helpful. And so that's UMAC what I was thinking is if they the foundation does bring Angzar into one of these you know plazas, I guess maybe just like help the community know which one. So for everybody listening, the Neo Plaza, the one, the fashion one, it's the far left plaza. How many plazas are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total. I should know this. And it's the one on the far left. So even just like kind of that navigation stuff, like um, because I kind of thought it was going to be over up by Bosun and where the Metaverse Music Festival was, and it's you know it's not in the same uh, well, actually, I don't know where it was last year, but I know Bosun had quite a bit of the focus last year. So yeah,
Yeah.
find those answers. That
Whoops, sorry, my internet. I think I'm kind of near sinful because the internet here is spotty too.
Spotty
oh no,
Wi-Fi.
Spotty Wi-Fi. It may maybe left over from the hurricane. My work is kind of close to ground zero.
Oh, I bet. Uh, yeah, so awesome conversation. I've been enjoying myself just listening. It's been an easy day for me. I want to give a few shout outs to some people in the room. I see that KJ's here, Blease. I thought I saw Pac Max in here. Big shout out to 530 Society. And also, where are you? Oh, there he is. Bitcoin Maxi, Max Wellington. It's been a while, my friend. Welcome. If anyone that is new listening to us just ramble would like to come up and ask any questions about the Decentraland, how to get started, how to meet some people, make friends, go to a party, perform, just feel free to request to come up to speak. And also make sure to like and retweet the room, everyone. Thank you. And what's up? What's up, the mayor of the metaverse? Been a while.
and I think before we jumped spaces, Rustan and Cheddar were both requesting to come up. So if you guys had something that you want to add to it, I re-invite you to come on back up. And let's see, Decentraland, I see you've got your hand up, and then Mariana, I would love to hear what's going on in Metaverse. Well, not Metaverse Miami, no, NFTLA. So, Decentraland, you got the floor.
I'll be super quick. I just wanted to piggyback on what you all were saying about spreading the love on social and using the videos and teaching people. Another thing to just consider is LinkedIn's a great place for people that are not necessarily Web3 native and using Twitter. So a lot of educational content has been performing really well there. So if that is a place where you feel comfortable sharing what you're learning, what you're seeing, that's working well for us as well. So I just wanted to share that as an opportunity for people.
Thank you. That's so good to know because you know I think we stick with what we're comfortable with. I had a couple micro influencer accounts on Instagram before I came here for various content. So like Instagram is my safe. That's my happy place. LinkedIn, nope. I don't know. I don't use it. I leave that to like the smart business people. And speaking of smart business people, here's Mariana. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. My voice is kind of gone from a lot of talking with like Drip, Rastan yesterday, Last Slice, Lucy. Oh yeah, so like last night we like all went out to dinner and then we did like a raid to support Lucy's Meta Meeples drop. So that was really fun. But yeah, no, I love how Kim mentioned, LinkedIn. I've been seeing some posts there. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to like make some myself just because of time. Well, my voice is really bad. But like shout out to like Jason Summers. Jason Summers actually like posts a lot of like daily photos. Like he'll like post like a wrap up or a recap of the events for like the day or maybe like the last 2 days. So it definitely has momentum. I see a lot of like for example like EY. My connection with EY, they are always posting about their involvement in Decentraland when they do have the involvement, and it's actually really cool. That I'm like, okay, they're like people are actually excited about this. So yeah, definitely check out LinkedIn. I'm actually Beavers. We have like we created like a community like last year that we have like metaverse news that gets like rolled up in there. So that's a really cool spot too. So if anyone wants a Beavers link, let me know. There's some cool people in there. But yeah, no, thanks for having me here. Just wanted to say hello. I'm alive in NFTLA. It's been really fun, and yeah, right now I'm just catching up on some like Metaverse Fashion Week stuff. Yeah, there's a lot going on next week, a lot of shows, Twitter Spaces. Yeah, I'm just trying to catch up, and yeah, I know DressX is going to be really involved next week. DKNY done this, so yeah, CK, Nikki Fuego. Like I'm excited to see all of these like community events too, like Angzar, Dingia's fashion show, and the House of Fuego and everything, the quiz zone for baby dolls. Like it's gonna be so fun. Like I don't even know how we're gonna have time to do all of these at this. Like I don't know. It's gonna be so overwhelming, but so fun at the same time. But like there's so much like opportunity for like content as well. Like actually, like on my way to LA, I actually brought my hard drive and I started like offloading like a lot of my photos because I'm like I need to make space. I need to make space on my computer and like figure out where to like map all of this content. Um, so yeah, guys, make sure you get your hard drives and make sure you have some space on your computer for some screenshots and videos because it's not going to be fun when it says your computer is full halfway through the first show. So I'm trying to avoid that, guys. I'm trying to avoid that. But yeah, everyone's excited still here in NFTLA about metaverse. Yeah, that's pretty much like there's been like a really good vibe on that. There was like a really cool panel yesterday with like Super World and like some Curve collective or Curve, some sort of Curve software. So yeah, people are still talking about it, innovating it, and yeah, trying to figure out how to make it more accessible. And actually one point that they brought up, and I'm sorry that I keep rambling, but one point that they brought up was like it was actually like Super World. They mentioned like, do you have to like almost hide like the blockchain in the background? Like gamers need to like not know that there's like a wallet in there. So like that was actually a really interesting point. So like I don't. It was weird. It was a weird point, but actually it made sense. Like a gamer would rather like know that they're playing the game without knowing that they have a wallet, and then ultimately learn later like, oh yeah, I have all this stuff being collected into my crypto wallet. So that was actually like one point that like resonated with me, and like, okay, I wonder if it would be better to onboard people knowing, like in a way where they don't know they have a wallet, but they'll learn later like, oh yeah, everything that you accumulate and buy gets entered into a wallet. So that was like one big point that I got from that event. So we'll kind of see how that plays out, and if any, metaverses take that approach. And yeah, but yeah, that was a really cool point.
I've heard that before of why gamers, what would help gamers kind of transition over into, blockchain and Web3 gaming. And it's that they want to play a fun game. Like they don't want to have to deal with converting, oh my gosh, ETH mana to Poly mana to, from their bank to their Coinbase to their ETH to their Poly. No, they want to play a fun game. And so really if we, a lot of these jargon that we use. I mean, even just listen to us talking, like our if our ape was rugged, oh my gosh, we know what that means, but it's a different language to other people who are not into Web3 yet. And so, yeah, it's really cool to hear that mentioned again, Mariana, because I think for game developers, focusing on just making a really dope ass game that people want to play, that's going to be really important. And then, it looks like you got kicked down. Oh no, Mariana. Hopefully, we'll be able to get you back up here.
Sorry, I rugged. I got like 2 calls.
It's all right. It's all right.
And then like my audio went away. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's just, you know what? We're gonna embrace it. We're gonna embrace it.
Exactly.
One thing that you brought up that I think it's worth mentioning is just like last year after Metaverse Fashion Week, I noticed a lot of our friends disappeared for a little while. Like it literally, if you think about some of the people that are building, I'm thinking like CK, Doki, a lot of different creators. We know who they are. They've got amazing wearables, amazing builds, but they've been building on this for 3 months. They might have been shipping for 3 months, in addition to taking care of their day-to-day life, whatever, however that is. And so I guess I would just implore all of us to, first of all, like in an airplane, when you hit turbulence and the gas mask comes down, what do? You take care of yourself first. You put it on yourself. So take care of yourself. I know it's fun, Metaverse Fashion Week, blah, blah, blah. But, at the same time, there is, I think, inherent stress in being online all the time. Go out, touch grass, make sure you eat, make sure you get sleep, all the self-care stuff. But then, check in on your friends. There have been people that, after I don't see them for a while, I check in on them. I'm like, hey, how's it going? And I think that's important.
Hey, I can confirm Kanessa did reach out to me and said, hey, Mac, are you okay? Because I hadn't been in World in a while. So I really appreciated that, Kanessa. Love you.
Yeah. I just, you people are why I'm here. And so when I don't see my friends, I want to make sure that you all are still here. So, yeah. So yeah, like take time, take a break. Like also don't feel like you always have to be here. If I feel like maybe a lot of us like we'll take a week off, 2 weeks off after Fashion Week and just take time off. We're gonna be here when you get back. So do whatever you gotta do to take care of yourself first and then take care of your friends. Cause yeah, some of our friends have not slept. Like they've been I think CK, I don't know, they haven't slept much. Scott?
Hey, just wanted to cast our sights a little bit forward in the future. And Kanessa, I know we talked about this yesterday on FAPO, and I know that there are people out here in the audience that are landowners. But Fran Tufro is the person who's leading up the 2D retro client. I've spoken about that. We've spoken about that a number of times in the past, and the importance of it. It's not just creating a 2D retro client, but part of the I'd say the core part of that grant is creating new libraries to make the Catalyst servers, and that's I'd say like the essential layer of deploying Decentraland, but creating a library so that the Catalyst servers are accessible to alternate clients of Decentraland in the future. And I just said a bunch of words, but the too long didn't read version of that is, if you want to be able to use Decentraland on your smartphone, this is the project that you need to support. Because creating libraries that make the Catalyst server accessible means that somebody like Malloy or somebody like Mitchie, or somebody that's been around for a long time and that has an idea of, wouldn't it be great if we had a manga anime 2D version client of Decentraland that we can use on our smartphones or on our Nokia flip phones. it's that library that will make it possible. But if you've got land, reach out to Fran Tufro, go into the DCL DAO Discord, connect with them and their team, and offer up your land as one of the test locations to try out the 2D retro client. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just think an NES system, not even a Super NES system, but like an NES system from from like the late 90s. That's what it's going to look like, and you'll be able to be on your phone, cruise around with that side-scrolling 8-bit pixel version of your character, but people in world will see your 3D version. You'll be able to chat with them. I mean, that's the dream, right? And I don't want to overpromise what Fran is working on. It's very preliminary. It's at creating a library stage. They had to go on pause for a little bit. They've got to access the kernel, and they had to work with the foundation to get some of that information. But now they're at a stage where they're looking for people to help them out. And that's what we can do as a community. We can come forward and say, you know what? I've got a 1x1 parcel. I'll happily sign up for this. And don't just sign up and forget about it. Check in regularly with Fran and their team, because even just dedicating like 1 hour a week to helping their team work on that, it gives them valuable information, right? I was a part of just evaluating one of the grantees yesterday. I know Nikki was there, and Madamus and CK were there, and DCL Creations was there, and we were testing out, like, hey, we've got this grant proposal. They got the grant. They made a chess game and a racing game and an escape room, and just to be able to test it out, it's like that's what completes that circuit. So if you're somebody who's in a position, and it doesn't work if you've got a DCL World, I did clarify that with Fran. I'm not a landowner, I'm a name owner, but it needs to be somebody who's got one of the 90,000 parcels in DCL to be part of that testing. And just check in the DCL DAO Discord every now and then on that project, because if you're somebody who really wants to have Decentraland on mobile client, I think that's one of the really valid paths to get there.
Scott, do you know if there's size limitations for that yet?
I don't. I mean, when I reached out to Fran and he told me about needing land, I mentioned you specifically having the 3x estate and the 1x, and I got no clarification from him one way or the other, like, oh, that's too big or that's too small or whatever. But my assumption is that, having not said anything, that size considerations is not like the most important thing. The most important thing is just that you've got a parcel in Genesis City.
Awesome. That is cool. I love anything like that can help. Push the platform further. I think it was almost a year ago I let this little game use my land. They're called Dice Master or Knights of Antrim. And they used my land for a month, and at the time the game was about killing chickens and like chopping wood. And so I would come to my land and there'd be chickens all over. So then I was like, at the end I'm like, it took me a month to clean up all those chicken feathers. But it is really cool, just as part of my journey, just to see like these, to offer what I can to help people and then see what it turns into. Because it was such a cool game back there, even when it was only on 9 parcels. It was cool.
No, that is such a success story. I mean, on the carcasses of chicken skulls, they erected the Kingdom of Antrim, but they used all assets that were readily available, in the awesome repository. Like, I'm a huge fan of taking what you've got and extending it to its furthest extent possible. And yeah, just by utilizing your estate and extending that. So thank you for doing that, and everybody follow Canessa's lead. In the words of Paul Wellstone, we all do better when we all do better. So I think you were saying rising tide earlier. Yeah, it's just a variation on that. So thank you for that example, Canessa, and I hope that you inspire many others.
Well, when I originally started letting people use my land, I wanted some of the bigger landowners who, have, I'll try not to go off on a tangent, but they've bought land. They bought land, probably years ago, land auctions, probably got it for a cheaper price at an investment, and hoping that in the future their investment would be worth more. But I kind of felt like, yes, your investment might be worth more, but it's going to be because it's on our backs that we're building this platform. We're carrying that investment up the hill. So it's not going to be worth more unless you put the time in, you put the work in, and you build it. And, and it's easy to kind of get like maybe a little cynical and a little frustrated with that because, if whether I have one piece or 12 pieces or 90 parcels to work with, like, you can still do something with your land. So my hope last year when I started like actively trying to get people to build on my land was that some of these big whales would see what this tiny dolphin is doing with, at the time, I don't know, like 12 parcels, I think, collectively. So like, what can you do with 12 parcels? If I can do that with 12 parcels, if I can, like, at one point, every single parcel was built on for free by other people. I didn't need to get rent. I didn't need to get money for it. That's not what I wanted. Come on, get your hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of parcels moving and like actively getting built on, because otherwise we are I guess it's like anthill. We're the worker ants, and then I don't know, they're the big queen ant. I don't know if that analogy works necessarily so well, but it just comes down to what can each one of us do. Like, there's not a lot of other things I can do. I can't build clothing. I can't do certain things, but I can do that. So I do what I can. Mac, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk on your point. These huge landowners, that it's just sitting there. I wanted to shout out Impact. You may know him as Krusty in the Dow. He has like 39 parcels, the Nakatomi Plaza, and he let Dom, Altcoin Radio, me, Mitchie play on it. We had so many different events. You guys know the New Year's event. Even though he didn't know exactly how to build or do all the stuff, he let us play with it and just have fun events and parkours. And we're still doing it. We haven't been active lately, but that's what I like to see. Like, even though they can't actively build or do whatever, they let others just mess around and just generate activity and fun thing. Because that's what Decentraland. I want to jump in and I want to have fun and hang out with everybody. And if there's just big ass land there with just Decentraland default grass, what's it doing really? What's it doing? And just like you said, all the creators, all of us making fun things to do. That's bringing the value to Decentraland. So I really wanted to give a shout out to Ronnie, aka Krusty, aka Impact, and his team for letting us do that and allowing us to play around with it. I love it.
Thank you, UMAC. That's awesome. And I know I've loved the different events that Impact has had, before at Nakatomi Plaza. If anybody, yeah. If you know, Nakatomi Plaza, Die Hard. Yeah, so it's probably easy to feel like we're small and we're not making a difference. And I wish I could make more of an impact, but at the same time, it begins with me. Like, what can I do? I'm not going to worry about what the whales do or do not do, because it really doesn't matter. Like, if they aren't going to do it, fine, we'll do it ourselves. And that mentality that kind of started last year was what started these, these Twitter spaces and then the community building Decentraland Discord. And so look at what we've done since then. Just the power of coming together, people in the community coming together. Like, what would be more powerful? Like one giant whale paying an external source to develop, 500 parcels of their land, or 400 people help uplift each other. So I think that we just have to help in the way that we can. And I don't know. So I say that to myself a lot. It begins with me. I'm not going to worry about what other people are doing. I'm just going to worry about what I'm doing. I think I had another hand up. Was it? I'm not sure if it was Scott or Specimen, but I will invite anybody that wants to come up. If anything resonates with you, if you have questions about Decentraland, if you have questions about Metaverse Fashion Week coming up, send us a request. And Scott, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vanessa. Just really quick. I've reached out to a lot of you, and many of you have gotten back to me, but I am putting together what I'm calling the Decentraland Community Demo Reel that will be displayed on the CBD screen. It's one of the first major projects that we did together as a CBD, group, as a community. Shout out to JH and Grammy and Lastrom for helping us assemble that. Shout out to CK Bubbles for putting together the pitch deck and preparing and delivering the pitch to Wondermind. It's ready. It's actually already been deployed in 4 different places. So shout out to Dax for deploying the CBD screen on 3 of his parcels, and to Last Slice for including that in the Angzar outpost. I have reached out to our contacts over at Wondermind, so hopefully we can get that up and running on the parcel that Wondermind agreed to allow us to use to deploy the screen. And just for anybody who's wondering, what sort of videos am I going to be putting in there, or what is acceptable? They can't be an outright shill of hey, buy my wearable, or come to this event. But what it can be is a celebration of Decentraland. So if you're going to showcase the people in the community, if you're going to showcase the things that you can do, and I mean that in the most general sense, if you have videos of past events, if you have specifically educational content, like we were talking earlier, and I pinned a post up at the top, and I put it in the thread at the bottom, of how to add socials to your Decentraland profile. I created something in collaboration with Lighthouse on how to, if you're a brand new user and you get dumped into, or whatever, you get deployed to Genesis Plaza, up in the clouds, and there's Alice, the tutorial bot. So I just did a really quick, it's less than 3 minutes long, just walking them through and familiarizing themselves. I know the tutorial is there, but just having a personal account of hey, this is super easy, try this out. As Brandon says, keep making content. Brandon 10, Richard discount. Got to say that in collaboration all the time. So if you've got a video, please connect with me through DMs here on Twitter or Discord or Telegram or whatever. Just send me 1 or 2 of your best videos that showcase Decentraland. What would you, as a brand new user first coming into Decentraland, what would you like to see? What would you like to know? What would you like to find out? And I'll put that in the video, and that'll be displayed at least in 4 different places, hopefully 5. I know we originally talked to the people at Foundation about putting that in Genesis Plaza, so I'll just put that out there again. Connect with me if that's something that's an offer that's still on the table. We'd love to do that. But we need content from the community to put on that screen that can welcome new users. So thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Yes, that's awesome. It's so important. I think, we last year when that idea started, we were looking at the bottlenecks, and one of the pressure points or the pinch points of new users coming into the world is that they kind of all end up at Wondermine, which is great. Like, that's such a great place. I don't know. That's where I ended up after exploring. I would sit there and break meteors all day and lament that I didn't have more coins. So it's really a great place for new users to kind of end up. But then where do they go from there? And so that was the idea, is that we would give them an option to get out and see other things that are going on in the community, because a lot of the feedback that we heard was like, what else do I do here? What else can I do? And so that's kind of where that spawned from. And a lot of the conversation was also Genesis Plaza. Like, when people end up in Genesis Plaza, if there isn't somebody there, like Sinful does an awesome job of being there so much and answering questions to new users and just like getting them started, like moving their keys around and knowing how to jump around. But if there isn't that person, kind of that one-on-one, until we have chat GPT there, we got to do it the old fashioned way. But the screens would be like a close second. So those are really important, and I'm glad to see things kind of moving in that direction as well. So thank you, Scott, for putting all of that together. And let's see, I saw a couple people request to come up. We're just kind of having a funky day with Twitter, and so send more requests if we haven't.
Yeah, I thought I saw Cheddar, but then I'm seeing in the speakers that Cheddar is in the speaker category, but I don't know, it doesn't seem loaded. Same with others.
Oh no, I don't see Cheddar in the speakers. I know Cheddar wanted to request in the other space, and so I hope you can make it up here.
Despite all the hardships we push on, we continue. Let's see.
So one thing I'll hit on, because I think I didn't say earlier when we were talking about social media, and Kim from Decentraland was talking about like the social media presence and how important that is. I think it's important for like right now in the short term, but I think it's also extremely important in the long term roadmap of Decentraland because of the way that search engine optimization works. If you look up, like, just go Google Decentraland and see what comes up. And what frustrates me is that if you just go to like a normal search, it'll bring up all these like old videos and very old graphics. And it's like the low poly world when Decentraland first started. And I'm like, why? But it's because of search engine optimization. So when Google and different website search engines, they call it spiders that crawl every 6 to 8 weeks. They go through and they look for data, they look for information, and then that's what helps the algorithm put those in the higher search engine rankings. And so you think about this content that was made 4 years ago. Well, that's had 4 years worth of clicks and page views and shares and retweets or whatnot. So of course that is going to have higher relevancy when it comes up. And a video that just came out last week that maybe looks gorgeous and it's got the the beautiful new low poly build and everything. Well, it just doesn't have enough time to come up frequently in the search engine. So the stuff that we're putting up right now is maybe the content that people will see 2 years from now or 3 years from now. But the point is to get more content out there so that when there is another, bull run, when it's just a matter of time when Google announces their metaverse play, whatever, and everybody is coming in, then we've already got the foundation laid. We've already got a lot of content out there. I know that the last time, the last bull run, like in November, a lot of people, I listen, like, how did you find it? And people are like, oh, well, I found it on TikTok. Like, I just Googled metaverse and some TikTok videos came up. And like, I don't do anything on TikTok, but it's important that there are artists out there that are putting their content on those different platforms. So I guess, like, yeah, you're planting the seeds today. Well, how does the saying go? I'm going to totally screw it up. I know Scott would know it. I'm going to plant the seeds today that will grow into the trees that I will get the shade under tomorrow or whatever. My grandchildren will get on the shade under the tree. It's something like that. But basically, keep plugging away because this will have it will come to fruition. We just might not see the effects. Like, I guess that's my mindset. When I'm pinning, when I'm retweeting, I'm putting all that in. Like, I think I've told you guys before, I went on a one woman Pinterest Decentraland campaign years ago, like 4 years ago, and I made a blog, and I would pin and I would repin, and there was not much content out there. There's this awesome tree build, but I knew that, like, well, we got to put it out there, and so yeah, if you go to Pinterest, those are some of the pins that come up before others. But I think ain't nobody on Pinterest except for, like, casserole dishes and, like, I don't know how to how to decorate your home interior. Maybe not the best platform for Decentraland.
I'm happy you brought up like what Kim said earlier. It was the LinkedIn, and it just got me thinking how you were saying that all the business people go there. I feel like everyone that's while they're using Pin or LinkedIn, they have like a suit on. It doesn't matter what time of the day. They open up I keep saying Pinterest. They open up LinkedIn and they automatically have like their business suit on. Um,
Totally. And I think the people that are on Pinterest have their mom pants on, and they're like baking casseroles and shit like that.
I for some reason I keep thinking of like the cat videos where like they're like making fun of Sharon or like the cat's like, man, what's Sharon doing? But I do see that there's been a few requests to come up to speak, and we just like can't get you up here. I'm so sorry. But if you would like to like bring up any points or replies to anything, phrases, just comment it in the bubble on the bottom right of your phone screen, and we'll read it out loud and share our thoughts and kumbaya.
And I know, Cheddar, you've been trying so hard to get up. I don't know if it would help at all to leave the space and come back. I know a lot of times, like when I've rugged in the past, that sometimes will help. But we see you, and we're gonna make this happen. And it looks like somebody did make it through the gauntlet. Salty, I think you're here. Are you here?
Yes, I made it.
Wonderful. I guess you are chosen. So welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm not sure we've had you on our panel before, so yes, glad to have you here.
Hi, I feel like I haven't had the opportunity to like really come and join this community in the Twitter space. I feel like we all like come across each other on different events in the Centerland. So I wanted to say hi. I'm Salty. I'm a metaverse drag queen. I love this community. I just wanted to start by saying that I respect and celebrate and embrace and want every single piece of everything that you all do in whatever shape or form. I think you're defining, you're innovating, and I that's inspiring to me. The other thing I wanted to say, just kind of like give a huge shout out to everybody that I met at Denver. CK, I absolutely adore you, and I am so proud of you with everything that you have done in the things coming up. And Nikki Fuego, my drag queen, like metaverse icon, part of the Hall of Fame of the Dragverse, and many, many other people. I mean, it's amazing. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to the whole community, first of all, but also just kind of command to everything that you're all saying. I think content is important and kind of like leaving it for the future. You know, as a marketer, as a storyteller, I think that is key, and I hope to kind of feel like I want to continue doing that. We're getting new tools, AI, to help us tell better stories and kind of get that idea from our heads into kind of like solidified in the blockchain, but also in the search engine. So just also wanted to say that you know, I will be creating in the capacity that I have next week, my experience of Fashion Week. You know, even though that we have done drag shows in the metaverse with a friend of the Rocking Unicorns, I feel like I'm still like a newbie. I always feel like a newbie because everything, there's so much innovation, right? So I definitely will continue sharing my experience, and just kind of like, that's what I'm also realizing as a founder, that I want to like onboard people by doing in it myself, right? Because I feel conflicted. I'm like, I feel like I need to put a freaking ask question on my site or something, but I'm realizing, hey, why don't we just like experience it first, have fun, document it, and then kind of like reflect on it. So I'm hoping that that contribution will help other people, you know, join this space.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much for saying all that. You know, I think we never know how this space or our experience in it is going to evolve, and you know, how it's going to morph. Like, we might come in thinking, okay, I'm going to do a show at Rocking Unicorns, and I'm going to do it at 7 o'clock on Monday afternoon, and you know, like, you might be doing a, you know, drag show at Fashion Week, you know, 2 months later. You never know how your journey is going to go. So I think, you know, CK, yeah, is a wonderful example, because I met CK, I met them at the Absolute Vodka Build, you know, and here we are a year later, and they are putting out wearables in conjunction with other creators for Meta Tokyo. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. Every one of us is on a journey. So that is awesome, Salty. I hope that we see more of you. Are you doing anything for Fashion Week? Are you participating as a spectator and an observer this
I'm a
year?
cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader for everybody. I'm gonna be hitting all the spots, honey, taking selfies, you know, and I hope to see you all, and then we can take pictures, you know, like I'm just gonna embrace it and celebrate it, have fun, and then kind of like share the experience with others, and you know, get them here, get them looking gorgeous and fabulous. I'm definitely been trying to acquire as many you know, wearables as I can, and emotes. So I'm gonna be sashaying my way across the whole, you know, the whole space, and then just celebrating everybody. So yeah, I'm so excited.
That is awesome. And you know, we need more cheerleaders. Like, I feel like that's what that's another contribution that I hope to do, is just you know, I see my friends that are working so hard to get all their wearables out by these due dates, and like, I don't know, I can help them get out there by posting and retweeting their stuff. So it's, yeah, also just like going out and seeing it and experiencing it. I think that's a good idea. So I think your role as a cheerleader, we need that. We need more cheerleaders that are just here to, like, you know, selflessly promote other people as well, because that's so important.
Just trying to have fun.
Yeah, totally. And Fashion Week is pretty fun.
You know, Fashion Week's coming up, and I guess I can say it's almost going to be a year since Mariana tricked me into a dress on the metaverse. It was the first
Yeah.
time I've worn a dress. Yep, it was nice. It was breezy.
What dress? What dress? Was it the Paris Hilton dress?
The blue dress that Mariana
Oh,
published.
yes.
I got some nice heels along with it.
That's nice.
I
That's
love
nice. Well,
it.
I have to admit, I enjoyed I made an emote that was specifically for well, just it had more not specifically for anyone, it just had masculine features this week, and so I really enjoyed making myself a dapper gentleman, and trying to get myself as classy as possible. So I kept that character on one of my alt accounts, because he's just too dapper to, like, take all my stuff and send it back to my
I
name.
love that. And I think that that makes me my heart so happy because that's what I kind of like say to everybody that I meet. I'm like, drag, we all do drag, honey. Drag is just literally a representation, you know, of who you are, who you feel that day. And I think the metaverse is a great example of that. And there's nothing malicious about, you know, getting in a persona. And for me, for example, Salty is a persona. It's like, you know, and we're telling stories, and we're trying to do good and have fun, meet new people, meet new friends, you know, learn, challenge our biases, learn every day, you know, when we make mistakes. And so like that makes me just so happy because that's exactly what it is about. And I think we're just defining that and being good examples, you know.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, in the metaverse, you can be anything. You can be, you know, whatever representation. You can be a mouse. You can be a cockroach too, especially if you go to Rustone. So I think that, you know, if it makes each one of us, you know, if it brings us some meaning in our life, then, you know, that's pretty important right there. And it looks like, let's see, so I'm not sure why some people can get up here and others can't.
Oh,
So
that's what I was gonna mention that in the latest spaces that I've been kind of participating in having last couple of days, apparently one of the things is Android phones. We haven't been able to bring people that have Androids for some reason.
Yeah, I've been trying
I
really,
think this is an
really
attack
hard,
on
so I'm
Android.
sorry. I've been doing my best to get y'all up here, but Daddy Elon said no, apparently.
yeah, maybe that's what it is. A targeted attack on Web3. Go ahead, Cindy.
No, totally targeted attack on Android. Like, think about it. When he took control, he first gave the blue check marks to the Apple people, and then and then he gave it to us to sue
It's a
us
fucking
Android.
conspiracy.
No way. You might have a point here.
I'm
This is
putting
horrible.
them together. I'm gonna open up a case on Elon. I'm gonna purchase one of his rockets, then I'm gonna sell it.
You know, I think I might write a letter. I might ask to speak to the manager.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
write a letter to my
I'm
congressman.
a letter writer. I'm gonna write a letter.
I'm gonna write a letter to Elon's manager. I see a knower managed to make it up. What's up, dude?
Oh, I just thought I would test my luck and see if I was one of the chosen ones. I guess I'm lucky today.
Well done.
Now you're forced to speak to us.
Blessing and a curse. Oh, it's always a pleasure to speak to you guys, though. Sinful and Vanessa and all the Decentraland crew. Not a curse at all.
How does it feel to make it up here? I mean, I God, Roots has something to tell us. They've been trying all morning. But yes, a knower, it's all yours.
I will say, for what it's worth, I am on an iOS phone, so Apple phone. So I don't know if that validates the theory we have or not. But I guess it's one data point.
I think we could say that Sinful and I are like geniuses because we have we co-host and we have different devices that we access this, so they cannot shut us down. And we're also on polar opposite sides of the country, so that like even the weather can't shut us down. So we're so smart. Like totally did that on purpose.
Yep. Upon picking my co-host, I was like, okay, who is totally opposite? What device do you have? That was part of like the application that Canessa filled out. I had some pretty prestigious candidates, but Canessa strictly stood out for being the total opposite.
Yes, I mean, I almost lost it to that kid in Alaska because they were geographically at an advantage, but there's that whole like earthquake volcano thing. So I think that's what made me win.
Man, curations. I wonder. Hey, curations, can you comment in the bottom blue bubble what device you are on? And while he comments, welcome everyone. Thank you. Make sure to like and retweet the room if you're enjoying the conversation. If you have been trying to request to come up and we can't get you up, we're so sorry. Um, but you can always ask your question in the comments. And oh yeah, unknower, any progress with VLM since the last time you have like spoken?
Decent progress. This sort of method of tracking user sessions and pathways through a build is pretty much complete, except for like some load testing I want to do. I've just been kind of busy with like Fashion Week stuff for couple different people actually. So it's taking a small break from VLM to, I guess, remember that I still like coding. Sometimes when you work on one project for so long, you're like, this is getting old. But yeah, the progress on VLM is coming along.
Nice, nice. Yeah, totally. It's good to like step out of like the single project mindset, do something fun, creative, collaborative.
Yeah, we're actually using Virtual Land Manager on CK's Fashion Week build. So
Oh,
it was kind of cool to be able to work in real time with CK. Allow them to kind of move things around and update images while I was working on things that absolutely had to be done in code. And it seemed to work pretty well for both of us. So even though it's kind of an old version that we're working with now and has some weird bugs that we have to deal with, the next version is going to be even better.
well, when you just said it's kind of fun working with CK, like while they move stuff around and you code, are you talking about like at the same time, like in simultaneously in a way, or just kind of like separate stuff at the same
So
time?
like anything that has to be done in code requires like a redeployment of the whole scene basically for the code to make it up there. But for things like moving around images, hiding and showing images or video screens, that can all be done in real time. So like if I was in there watching CK move things around, or I would be able to go in there and watch CK move things around and swap out images in real time. But unfortunately, right now you don't have the ability for both people to be moving things around because there's this bug where you can kind of overwrite each other's changes. So I've been kind of working on the code side where CK is able to make changes sort of on the fly to the images and things that can be more, I guess, dynamically generated by the virtual land manager.
I can't say enough like how much how much value like this brings to Decentraland, especially since like changing images around and moving stuff around is usually like from to my understanding kind of like it takes a little longer than it really should, like in whenever you do it like the regular way, let's say through Blender or Builder. So like to be able to do it in real time is gonna save a lot of people a lot of time.
Yeah, especially if you're just moving something small or updating one image. The process to do that with the SDK right now is kind of frustrating. You got to move a file into a folder and then change some lines of code and then redeploy the whole thing, assign a transaction to deploy it to your land. And man, I know personally after seeing what other metaverses like Hyperfi have going on, we kind of need to like get on top of making it easier to build. And I think I'm gonna once I finish out the kind of web application version of Virtual Land Manager, I think I'm gonna start working on a way to bring all of its as many of its functions as I can into World, so you won't even have to like go into a separate application or a separate tab to use it. Because ultimately we don't want to have to leave the world for anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I like that you brought that up about like Hyperfy, because the the ease to like be able to build should be like it should be so that a 7-year-old can pick it up and start building.
Yeah, I agree. I think learning to code is a little bit too steep of a learning curve for most people. It's obviously a great skill to learn in general if you're into that, but some people just it's not, it doesn't align with their creativity. So yeah, when I saw Hyperfy, I was like, wow, this is a game changer. We really need to be like pushing for this type of functionality in world, and leave the SDK for more advanced stuff that more custom experiences that I think anybody should be able to jump in world and create their own little environment to hang out in 5 minutes. I mean, I think we were streaming on the FAFO session yesterday, or it was yesterday or the day before, and Rustan finally convinced me to go into Hyperfy and mess around, and it was like within minutes I had a sky set up, a body of water and these little islands popping out, and it was like, wow, this is really cool, and the graphics are great and it runs really well. I think it would be a big mistake for Decentraland and the community not to have our eye on what Hyperfy is doing, because we could definitely learn from them. Man, I know what Rustan is talking about now, like not wanting to always talk about Hyperfy in a Decentraland space, but yeah, it's just
It's a little
yeah,
hard.
it's just once you see it, you're like, wow, we should definitely uh, be emulating some of this.
Yeah, definitely. And the devs should definitely be open-minded to the idea of like implementing some of these features, just how they implement the same features that we have. For example, Lebrustan has spoken about examples of like him suggesting like straight to the dev team, hey, Decentraland has this. It's pretty cool. You should add it. And what, 30 minutes or an hour later, like it's already there. Like that's freaking sick. Um,
Yeah, I will say that's not usually the case in software development, and it speaks to the fact that they probably have a very small, very fast-moving team that's working really hard, which is actually kind of a good thing, probably. Hopefully, they're not overworking themselves, but yeah, to see that kind of movement on things, it means they're pretty good at prioritizing work efforts and not just kind of dragging their feet through things, which can, when you try to plan out every little detail of a software feature, it can sometimes take like months to do it the quote unquote right way. But if you have a small, quick moving team, sometimes you can get stuff out, just as it needs to happen, really.
exactly. 13, I see that your hand has been up.
Yeah, I was just sitting here having a thought with, making it easier for people to build. And one thing that comes to mind in the builder is that some of them assets are not very low poly. And maybe at some point, uh, some of us could potentially add new assets to the builder for those coming in that want to be able to build something a little bit more extravagant. But some of these things are, to me, super fucking high on some of the assets. Like some of the walls just don't make sense.
13, were you there in the FAFO, I think yesterday when I was talking about that, how I like when I started building 4 years ago, I actually made an Excel spreadsheet of the different assets, and like all the rocks. I had pictures with their exact triangle count. So I did all this work because you could I was building like caves and stuff, and you couldn't resize any assets, and so you had to, like, if you wanted a cave, you just had to add like 100 rocks to build it. You couldn't just skew one and like make it stretch it out like you can now. So you really had to, what you saw is that you got. And so there's one boulder, a couple of them that were like super high triangles compared to the others, and so I knew like, no, you don't use that one, you use these others, like if you want to, like, because you really have to be careful with your triangles. And then ferns, there's like a plant that looks cool. It's like a little, it's really a small one, but it has more triangles than that big boulder. So yeah, like totally. I don't know if the builder is just kind of like going into the sunset and they want it to just kind of disappear, and so they're not going to continue to upgrade it. I know that like some of the NFT frames don't work, and that was what I was told, was that they're just not maintaining it, and because they want eventually everybody to go to the SDK 7. But yeah, I think that would be really valuable to have new assets come in. I mean, I remember years ago when the pirate asset pack came, it was like, yeah, like this is so cool. It was such a big deal to have like the pirate, all the pirate themed stuff, because then you got so much to work with. Because at the beginning there was only 4 asset packs, I believe 4, it could be, not remembering exactly. And yet yesterday I was telling Ajab, because he found the gecko, and CoinGecko was one of the sponsors of the original creator, the land creator contest. And so you'll see stuff in there that don't make sense, like why is there a gecko, but it makes sense. And then there's also what was it, I'm going to jump in here and see, there were a couple sponsors to that. I know Bitrix was a big sponsor, and then there were some others. Exodus, there's like a phone, and so yeah, like if you use that phone and that portal in your build, then you could possibly win like a crypto phone. So yeah, I guess just let it be known, there's a couple rhyme and reason to some of the stuff in there, but I think it's time to revamp it. It's been 4 years, why not?
Yeah, I think the builder, I think last room said the builder is on like SDK 2 or 3 when we're currently on 6 and 7. So that just goes to show how
Holy
far
shit.
behind it is.
That's fucking gnarly.
Yeah, like if you look, the year of the pig is there, and what are we on, the year of the rabbit, and last year was the year of the tiger. It's been a couple years since we had the year of the pig. I actually think that some of the original asset packs are not in here, so some of the things I was telling you about, they're not here anymore, so they have taken some away. But I'm just going to plant seeds since we're on that topic. When you're around Decentraland, like Genesis Plaza, or just walking on the roads, everything is still so low poly looking. I think it was Toon Punk and Esteban, when they were in our Twitter space, the second one, that they were talking about like different ways to revamp it. They talked about revamping empty parcels, but I would love to just throw it out to people, food for thought. Like, is there any way that we can like revamp all of the benches and the planters along the roadside, and just it feels like we need a little bit of a fresh change when you're running around Decentraland.
I mean, as a landscaper, I can attest that things do have to change over time. You gotta increase property value somehow.
That's a great analogy. I would say like even being able to interact with some of the things we do have, like being able to sit on the benches, would be nice without having to use an emote or something. Or maybe we could have some way to choose what emote we can use to sit down. I don't know. I know Hyperfy has the ability to actually like click on something to sit on it, which is kind of neat. But yeah, I remember when I first came into Decentraland being like, why are there benches and I can't sit on them?
Yeah, we're still trying to get over the sit.
Yep. I try to sit at every single bench, stool, whatever it is. I just try to sit, and yeah, that is like a very, very good idea, because like with the click and sit button, it wouldn't even like take the different sits out in the marketplace. Like it wouldn't like devalue them. It'll just like make it so the avatar is positioned perfectly upon a click so that a sit could like look good, and then from there you could like be able to scroll through the different sits that you own.
Right, because like when you go to sit on something in real world, you don't think like, okay, I'm gonna back up my flesh avatar to the couch, and now I'm gonna emote my sit. Like you just you just walk up and sit.
Yep, exactly. Like, yeah, I'm sure you've like seen me like many times. I'm like positioning, like I'm like, okay, look left, look right, perfect.
Right, and then oh
When
no,
we
I hit V, and now I'm in first person. I'm looking around and I'm pivoting on my butt.
if we all meet up at like a convention someday, can we all just like get a video of us moving around like avatars? Like we'll sit and then we'll just adjust, we'll hit that V key to like move ourselves around, or we'll back up to a bench and sit. But yeah, I'm gonna throw that out there to all the NFT LA people. What is it, like emote challenge? Can you replicate like some emotes IRL for
I
us?
want to see someone's best impression of walking into a wall, but not actually
Yes.
colliding with it.
Oh, that's $1 million video right there.
Yeah, I guess you'd have to be pretty good at like moonwalking.
Person would go viral.
While we're on the subject of revamping, I'm just going to throw it out there again because, sorry, Decentraland's in the crowd. I don't know if Peanut Butter's in the crowd. But when you do get to the Decentraland page, like just think about like when you hit Decentraland and you come in, because this is the funnel that everybody's going to go through. We still have really awesome representations of the original games from 4 years ago. So, yay, we should keep that. We should archive that. But we should put some new stuff there, new content, because I mean, just as like my psychology behaviorism background, we are painting the picture for new users. As soon as we show them this, kind of basic low poly screen, and then they jump in world, we're already giving them the bias that this is the world. There's a couple really cool ones. There's like a dragon, there's a cool robot, but we could absolutely frame their first footsteps into the world differently if we had that welcome to Decentraland page rotating with some, I would put like our best content out there, the highest detail, wearables, things like that. I'm just putting it out there again because I know we've talked about it before and they said that they were going to possibly work on it. But here we are, it's Fashion Week. It would be cool to, archive this, put it someplace safe so we have it forever. But maybe add to it.
So, just pivot from the topic. I see that Roots has confirmed the conspiracy. He's on Android. So, yeah, Elon is hating on Android users. I repeat, Elon hates us, Android users. But it's okay. We enjoy the freedom of having an Android.
Wasn't
Um,
sorry, wasn't there that back and forth between Elon and one of the developers where Elon was saying they had to revamp the Android app, and the developers was like, "You don't even understand the database we're using." Uh, I wonder if this is related to that exchange, or what came from it.
oh man, he's like, screw you, screw you, Google dev. I know everything. Okay, so Roots is saying, was asking, he's like, I don't need to talk, just say good morning, and he wanted to shout out his collaboration with Stony Eye. It's gonna be a Palaka shirt from Hawaii. Um, I hope I did not butcher that. So yeah, keep an eye out for Roots and Stony Eyes collaboration. That's sick that they're getting together and doing a little something.
I have to look that up. I'm familiar with the Palaka. It's, if I remember correctly, without looking too deep, it's a specific type of fabric, and it might be the cut, but I think it's what I like mainlanders would say is like blue and white checkered. almost like plaid, but it's hopefully roots. I don't know. Did I get that right?
A quick Google search
That's
says yes, you
awesome.
did.
Yay, awesome. Yeah, I I've had some interactions with some palakas. That's awesome. I'm looking for it right now. I don't see it. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself so I can find it.
And just gonna do a quick reset. Thank you, everyone. Love you all for being here. Ming, congratulations on your emote win on Monday at ABC's. And yeah, if there's any, okay, I guess I have to adjust what I say. If there are any Apple users that have any questions, please feel free to request to come up to speak. If there's any Android users, Elon hates us, so you'll have to just type in the bottom blue comment thingy.
But you are up here, Simple. You are hosting, so we found a way
That,
around it.
yeah,
And know
exactly.
That we don't love any of you any less.
We found a way to say fuck you, Elon. And you know the space is recorded, so I'm pretty sure that anytime those two words get put together in a sentence, I'm sure like it'll red flag Elon like immediately. So he'll know what we're talking about. We're suffering here.
His AI is in the room right now. Don't worry about it.
If he did have AI, if one of us was Elon's AI, which one of us would it be? I don't know. 13. I'm kind of looking at you.
Oh, they're not onto me.
How dare!
I mean, you are, co-hosting like today, so I don't know. I'm a little sus now.
Yeah. Only different variable today is yeah, dude.
We found you
Get
out.
up.
Did we already scare away the Decentraland account?
Okay, so curation's also confirmed. He's on Android.
This is gonna
Good news
of Twitter Spaces for a while until it's fixed.
Excellent news for client users. If you've been having the issue of if you've been loading up the client and it's been saying that you need to switch to the Ethereum mainnet, delete the application, remove it from your programs, and then re-download it and run it.
So an extended version of unplug it and plug it back in.
Just slightly longer, yeah. Except you don't have to wait 30 seconds, for it to completely power down necessarily.
Well, yeah, thank you for the update. And I'm not sure. I think I may have like maybe heard that they have been working on fixing the video streaming on client. So maybe soon I'll start using client myself if all goes well.
I've been a beta tester since it first came out. The more errors that I push to them, the better.
Also, I noticed we have our numbers back. We can type numbers and click on them and teleport now. Man, it was very hard, like going back to the Stone Age and typing /go to and then your coordinates, opposed to just coordinates and then click.
Yeah, coordinates and then click. You can share them with everybody, and everybody can see where you're going.
Those are the hard days. We're gonna tell stories about these difficult times. Future users aren't gonna understand the struggle that we had.
Like
What's a bug?
like the brief period where typing the hyphen or the for a negative coordinate would break you out of the chat window.
Yep.
Yes,
Like, what in the world?
That was so.
or the heart.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
Wasn't it the heart square?
Yep.
So
the heart
like
square.
if you, yeah, I heart square you. Totally. Well, like 2 weeks ago, things were buggy, and I was in Genesis Plaza, and I saw Nico E come through. And like I've learned, if you see the devs, follow them, stalk them. Wait, is Decentraland the main account in here? No, it's not. Okay, stalk them, follow them. They sometimes they'll let you in on a little alpha, or that like you can figure out what they're doing. I've never done this, but that's what I hear. And so yeah, Nico E was there, and he was like in a hurry. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna go, and I'm like, oh shit. If the devs are kind of like rushed and in a hurry, that that's not good. They're working on some bugs, but yeah, hopefully this is what he's getting it all worked out, and definitely will not be like Pride Fest last year.
Oh man, okay, that's kind of funny because like whenever I'm a little like subliminal. I take the subliminal approach where when I see a dev in world and like I'm in Genesis Plaza chilling, trying to help new users, I see a dev come in. As soon as I see him take the first like 2 steps, I'll just like nonchalantly complain about a bug. And or like I think my latest one is like I saw the dev take 2 steps in Genesis Plaza, and I just like typed -100 comma -100 and like press enter, and since it wasn't clickable, like just right there in your face, like, hey, it's not working, fix please.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Well done.
I feel like we're kids in the room after the teacher left. Like now that the Decentraland account is out, I'm like, okay, let's see how it really goes. That's funny. That's a different approach than I have. I'm I don't know what I would do. I stalk them. You poke them.
You follow them around, like all they see is like some pink hair like poking out of a bush.
Yes, because I
Until
try to
they're like,
be.
okay, what do you want? And then you're like, okay, so
I try to be subtle. Yes, I'm like, so I love the way that the sky looks now. And that was that was last year after they fixed the sky. Like made the sky move. I was like, I just really love it. And then they're like, you're gonna like the new changes that we have coming soon. And I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. What kind of new changes? They're like, we can't tell you. But
It sounds like
but they were.
when I was talking to them in Miami. I was like, so what kind of stuff is coming for SDK7? They were like, what kind of stuff do you want to see?
and then they all looked at you and like leaned forward.
So something that I would like to see is the ability to resize between the 2 windows, or within the same window, I mean, or be able to split the window apart, something.
So you could be like 2 different avatars, you mean, or?
No, so like when you're in there, unless you have like a dual or triple screen setup kind of thing, the aspect ratio in which you view the actual like loader
for the client,
kind of
yeah,
thing, you can't resize it. You can't drag to give you a little bit more of a viewpoint, So it's slightly frustrating, but the only way you can do it is basically super drag your window horizontally to give you a little bit more of a vantage point.
Yeah, I've always kind of found it frustrating that there was no way to unfull screen, or at least I haven't been able to unfull screen the client.
The client itself, I wonder if -W would affect it. Like in your shortcut, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, possibly.
Like old school D2 days where you wanted to window it.
I'm loving it. Hey UMAC, I see that you came back up to speak. What's up?
I was somebody beat me to it. I was just going to talk about how frustrating it was with the hyphen or the negative. And I remember Tank Poco being so frustrated because the dollhouse is -100, -100. And I'm just glad that's fixed.
Oh man, it's fixed, and we back, and Fashion Week is gonna be great. It's gonna be magical. Um, I'm trying to sell out of my meal auras for Fashion Week, and then I'll ride into the sunset as an accomplished wearable seller person thing. What are your aspirations?
I'm not gonna have as much time to fully be there all week because I work during the daytime this year. So I'm just gonna hurry home and just catch as much of it as I can, and then luckily I have Friday off. So, but yeah, I guess I'll just hurry home and check everything out. Try to get some early outs.
If
I'm sure plenty of people will be streaming it. So if you can sneak a stream in, that may be something to do.
Yeah, that's what we need is people that can get it out to the web to audience that can't be there, because I know a lot of us were mining fiat instead of mining meteors. And so that would be super helpful.
Yeah, I know people will be streaming and providing content. So yeah, if you could sneak a screen, then it'll be it'll be good to go. You'll get to like kind of be there. Maybe even tell the streamer, "Hey, say hi to this person for me."
Has anybody heard if there's going to be like a final performance? Like last year it was Grimes, or it was some iteration of Grimes. I saw like there's performers or Spotty Wi-Fi, Little Bitcoin, and then somewhere in that like Soulja Boy was tagged, but I couldn't tell if it was like a video. It kind of looked like maybe it was just a video of him. But if anybody has heard of that, like I really hope we have some kind of finale or something at the end.
Someone give us the alpha.
I feel like if we don't have alpha, there might not be alpha. I don't know. But then again, like last year, we did not know it was Grimes until pretty close to the end. Like there was a rumor, but I don't think we really knew for sure that they were gonna be here.
Which one of you leaked it?
I don't know. It was probably me.
So let's see. We are approaching 2 hours and 30 minutes of our wonderful space today. Sorry for all the technical issues. My Wi-Fi has update on my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi is working amazing ever since I threatened to kick it. If I do see some new listeners in the room, if anyone would like to come up, if anyone with an iPhone would like to come up and ask any questions, just feel free to do so. Or anyone in the speaker panel would like to bring up any topics, anything that they're excited about, whatever it is, feel free to do so. If not, perhaps maybe we can start to wind down.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about Fashion Week. Is there? I'm trying to think. Like, what else is going on? What do we have after Fashion Week? We have some. Well, Beauty Week is going to be happening, I believe, later in like a month, and then Pride Week. I think that's kind of like on the agenda. But if anybody else has other things, like, I do want to make sure we don't just talk about Fashion Week, because there's so much more to the metaverse than just that.
Yes, there's so much more to, well, I mean, let's say Decentraland. Like, there's people in the metaverse. People are the most important part.
Yeah, I will say, for as much as people are hyping up the Hyperfi thing, the consistent yeah, but that I hear is like Decentraland has a much better community. Um, and we also have the DAO, which is important to consider. Like, we have the ability to shape how this place is built to some degree. And I don't think that is something the Hyperfi has.
Exactly. It's the way that I see Hyperfi. I don't see it as a competition in all honesty. Like we can get all critical about it and whatever, but we can't compare the two. It's just another world to hang out in. Like, to tell you the truth. It's all like in Web3, it's all about the people that you surround yourself with, the people that you hang out with, people you support, love, and yeah, and so it's just another place. It's just another metaverse.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, these could all be the Netscape navigators of the future metaverse. So, uh,
Did you see what Rustan did? The blockbuster
yeah,
in his world. All those. I went in and I was like, holy crap! All the little movies, all the little video games on the. I used to work at Blockbuster in high school, and so it just kind of brought me back. Uh, and he's like, yeah, it took me forever. Oh my god! It's if you haven't checked it out, you have to. Oh, and the little we have. I don't know if anybody has a Comma Gang NFT. Um, that's pretty funny what he did. Just you have to check it out.
All right, so we don't have any one requesting to come up to speak, so I guess good time to wind down. Noah, any final thoughts before we close out?
oh man, whenever somebody asks me that, the only thing that comes to my mind is that kid from that video that says, I like turtles. So that's my answer.
Turtles. Taking notes. Salty, any final thoughts before you close out? We close out?
Just be fabulous, be yourself. Let's keep building, let's keep connecting, and I'm so excited for everything in the next few weeks. I mean, you see, I didn't even like know about the things coming up, and I'm pretty sure that we will connect again in a space like this. I'm learning, so I would love to continue listening and learning from all of you as we continue growing, and yeah, just be happy. So sending so much love to all of you.
Salty, I'm so happy you came up to speak today. I love your energy. I love like what you bring. You are always welcome. And I love what you just said. Thank you. UMAC?
Same. I mean, I just love this community. Ever since I jumped in, I've met so many cool people all over the world, and that's what I think is the greatest thing about the metaverse is it's global and it's bringing the world together, and I love it, and I love what you and Canessa are doing with this spaces. We appreciate you. Love everybody.
Thank you, UMAC. 13?
Hello, Twitter Space. It's me, 13. You know, we're a unique and vibrant community of developers, artists, gamers, investors, all growing and evolving together, pushing this platform, the new innovations that uh, both on the fashion and the development side of these spaces that we all get to go to and visit every day. Um, the one thing we're missing is more people. So my challenge for this week is to get a friend to log into Decentraland as a guest. Have them create a wallet. They don't even necessarily have to necessarily like they can just be guest. But just bring somebody in. That's all I got. Love you all. Brandon 10, wish your vodka. Deuces.
Thank you, 13. Canessa?
So I should make friends in the real world to bring them to the metaverse. I just
That
made
sounds like
that connection.
It works better in reverse in my experience.
right.
Historically, same.
How do I make friends in the real world? Okay, I'll have to Google that, or maybe Chat GPT can help me out. That's awesome. All right, that's my next strategy. I Okay, so like this week actually is my anniversary here. It's my 4-year anniversary coming into Decentraland. I bought Mana like the year before, so I guess that's like 5 years, but 4 years. Like actually, I built my first build 4 years ago this week, and so I'll share it. It's so cool. But if you would have told me 4 years ago that I'd be speaking and like my mouth would be making words in front of like a group of people, I would have been like, whatever, no. I don't do public speaking. I'm so shy. And somehow you guys, well, Sinful, you have like corrupted me, and now I'm like speaking and making the words in front of people, and I suddenly kind of want to run out of the room because I can't believe I'm actually like doing this. But like, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's all. I was just like, wow, what am I doing here? Um, I never would have thought that I'd be here 4 years ago. So thank all of you guys for like, I'm just honored, yeah, to be part of this like crazy journey.
Canessa's got imposter syndrome. She is like the Spider-Man emote or the Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other.
Totally. Yeah. Even a year ago, if you would have told me that I on Spaces talking, I'd be like, no. No. Like Dino, the first time he pulled me up to a space, he put me on the spot, and I didn't know how to like say no, and my hands were sweating, and oh my gosh, I was like, oh, I don't know, what do I say? And
That's so weird because that's what happened to me too. Like, I'm like all sweaty and hands are shaky, my knees are weak, and like I'm like, what am I doing here? What is this? This is what it does to you, I guess.
yeah, I remember like asking Sinful, like, how do you not throw up every time you do these? Like, I literally am sick to my stomach. I feel nauseous. I don't know if I can do this.
Oh man, I can relate so much with that.
I'm sure my answer wasn't sympathetic either. I'm sure my answer was like somewhere along the lines of I do.
Yeah, you were like, it'll get better. You'll stop throwing up after like the 5th or 6th Twitter space we do.
I remember some of the very first Beyond the NFTs. Remember that? Simple. We're both just like super. We're trying to like tell each other it's all right. It's all right. It's nerve wracking, and then it kind of you just do it, and it's second nature.
It just happens.
Yeah, I know it takes a lot of energy for like more introverted people to kind of push through that and lead something like a Twitter space or something. So props to both you guys for just doing it. Somebody's got to do it, and you guys were doing absolutely amazing. And you know it. You're also both doing such a great job of making people feel welcomed because I know I felt the same way hopping on Twitter space the first time. Like, oh man, I feel like I'm gonna say something stupid or I'm gonna like stutter, not properly like represent my ideas. But you know that happens whether you're typing in text or talking on a Twitter space. I mean, we just gotta we could all do a better job of making sure we understand what we're saying, I guess. But yeah, it's nice not to have that fear. Now that I've kind of gotten to know you all a little bit better, and it feels a little bit more like I'm just talking among friends.
You are,
Right.
you are. And I, when Sinful asked me to do this space, my first thought was no way, I can't, nope, can't talk. Um, but I did take public speaking in college because I wanted to be a teacher, and so public speaking is part of that. And I have spoken in front of hundreds of people, but unfortunately, it was at funerals, and so I knew I could do it. I knew if push came to shove, I had the toolbox in me to talk in front of people, and that was the push. Is that I was tired of talking about people after it was too late.
Wow, that's really powerful. Like you realized you had so much to say while people were still here to benefit from it. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what kind of gets me like over that fear is just I don't want to wait to say, I don't want to wait to talk to the world. And so if I talk too much, just shut me up. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. Be brave.
Be yourself, be brave, keeping on. And and final notes for myself. Thank you everyone for being here. Off the top of my head, I can think of two events tonight. Wednesday at True Band Room and Wag Me Wednesday at Dollhouse. So make sure to check those events out. Um, you will find them in the Decentraland events page. So if you log into decentraland.org and look at the top of your screen, you'll see a tab that says events. You'll see them there, and you'll find a lot of events there as well that maybe you might be interested in. Uh, so yeah, keep an eye out. Love you all, and as always, like if any new listeners here at the bottom would like to ask me any questions, just I'm one DM away. My DMs are open to you. Thank you for your time, and have a great Wednesday afternoon, evening, or morning. All right, and we're back. That was a fun space, everyone. Despite all the technical difficulties, it was fun. Really appreciate everyone that was there on the Twitter space. That really says a lot about, our community. If we can start showing numbers in these Web2 platforms, like that's it. That's the sauce. Like, that's how people find us, see us. I see a bunch of mews in chat. I agree. I'm thinking. Should we head on over to the Genesis Plaza? You know, hang out a little bit, harass new users into becoming our friends. I like that idea. Oh man, today's Twitter space was such a butt clencher. I was like constantly in front of the I was constantly in front of my modem just waiting to see if it like just shut off again so I could like instantly like turn off my Wi-Fi and like hold my hand up high and run outside to my driveway and try to rescue the Twitter space. No, no, I think that I think that internet issue was beyond Elon's doing. Oh, look who's here. Look at this degenerate. Wonder who this is. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hey, Hugh is here. Hugh. Hugh. Oh, oh. Hugh. Mew, 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 mew. He recently got his Mew aura. I was so happy when I saw him pick up his Mew. It makes me very happy whenever, someone invests in the Mew. One day we will bring it back, It'll come back. All right, let's see. What music should I throw on? Am I feeling some baby making music or what is this Spilled Ink playlist I have here? Like what's going on here? Maybe some piano, the wobbles. Maybe wobbles would. Oh, hey mods. Hey Vanessa. Me. Any new users? Hmm. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? Okay, fine. Well, we're gonna make some babies first. We're gonna make all the babies. Oh shit, I just remembered I should, before I continue, I should, which one? This one?